You think motivation is enough to change your life. It isn't. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark has died. And that's the difference between people who dream and people who build dreams with their own hands. There will be days when you don't feel like waking up, days when you don't feel like going to the gym, days when your dreams feel too far, too heavy, maybe even impossible. And those are the days that decide everything. Because those are the days when motivation runs out and discipline must take over. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is commitment. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is unshakable. Motivation is easy. Discipline is earned. Most people believe that motivation is the fuel that drives success. They think that if they could just stay motivated long enough, they would reach their goals. But the truth is, motivation is not the foundation of achievement. Discipline is. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls like waves. It depends on your mood, your energy, your circumstances. One moment you feel inspired and ready to conquer the world, and the next moment life hits you with stress, fatigue, criticism, or unexpected problems, and that motivation disappears. If you rely on motivation to achieve your goals, your success will be unstable because it depends on how you feel. But feelings change. Discipline never asks how you feel. Discipline asks what needs to be done. When you look at truly great people, world-class athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or leaders, they don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. They don't wake up every day excited and pumped up. They wake up tired sometimes. They face doubt. They deal with failure. They experience fear. But still, they show up. They stay consistent. They keep moving forward even when their emotions beg them to quit. That is the difference between temporary results and unstoppable success. Discipline is the engine that keeps moving long after motivation runs out. Think of motivation like a spark. It might ignite passion, but it burns out quickly. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning, not because it feels good, but because it must. Motivation belongs to the moment, but discipline belongs to your future. Motivation lets you start, but discipline lets you finish. You can watch motivational videos all day. You can listen to inspiring speeches. You can read quotes that pump you up. But none of that matters if you don't act with discipline. Your life doesn't change based on how motivated you feel. It changes based on what you do consistently. The reason people obsess over motivation is that it feels good. It gives quick emotional energy. But motivation does not demand accountability. Discipline does. Motivation whispers, you can do it. Discipline commands, do it. Motivation works when everything goes right. Discipline is built for the storm. Motivation helps you when you feel strong. Discipline guides you when you feel weak. Motivation might get you to start a workout. Discipline gets you to finish it on the days when your body wants to quit. Motivation might help you start a business. Discipline keeps you grinding even when you lose clients, face setbacks, or don't see results. Motivation might get you into a relationship. Discipline builds loyalty, patience, commitment, and love when emotions fade. Motivation is based on emotion, and emotions are temporary. If you build your life on emotion, your progress will always be fragile. But discipline is built on decision, on commitment. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you don't want to do it. It means choosing long-term success over momentary comfort. It means waking up earlier than your excuses. It means staying focused when distractions tempt you. It means training your mind to obey your purpose, not your feelings. Discipline is quiet. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't seek attention. Discipline is built in solitude, in silence, in sacrifice. It is built in every small decision that no one sees. People wait for motivation to come before they start. They say things like, I'll start when I feel ready, or I just need some motivation. But the truth is, motivation comes after action, not before it. You don't get motivated and then take action. You take action and then create motivation. You feel motivated when you see progress, when you build momentum, when you follow through on your commitments. Motivation is not the foundation. Discipline is. If you ever want to achieve something meaningful in life, you must stop asking, how do I stay motivated? And start asking, how do I become disciplined? Because the day you stop depending on motivation is the day you become unstoppable. People don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they are incapable or because success is reserved for a chosen few. They fail because they choose comfort over consistency and excuses over execution. Success doesn't require you to be the smartest person in the room, the strongest, or the most gifted. but it does demand that you show up every single day and put it in the work, especially when you don't feel like it. The greatest enemy of success is inconsistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can stay focused for a week, but very few stay disciplined for years. That is why so many dreams die, not because they were impossible, but because the person chasing them gave up too early. Consistency is the silent power behind every achievement. It doesn't shout, it doesn't show off, but it moves mountains. When people say they want success, what they really want is a result: money, respect, freedom, purpose, a better body, a better life. But all of these rewards come at a price, and that price is daily effort. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It means you show up even on the days when you make mistakes, even when you fail, even when results seem invisible, because growth is happening whether you see it or not. Every day you stay consistent, you are building something inside you: discipline, resilience, confidence, momentum. You are sending a message to your future: I will not quit. The problem is that most people are addicted to instant gratification. They want results quickly. They want success to come fast, without struggle. So they start with energy and enthusiasm, but when they don't see results right away, they stop. And that's where the cycle of failure begins. They try something new, they quit. They start something else, they quit again. They keep changing direction, hoping to find something easier. But there is nothing easier. Everything worth having requires sacrifice. The only difference between winners and quitters is consistency. Winners stay committed long enough to see results. Quitters stop before the miracle happens. Excuses are the biggest killers of discipline. I don't have time, I'm too tired, I'll start tomorrow, I'm not ready, I had a long day, I'll do it later. These excuses feel real in the moment, but they are lies that steal your future. The truth is, you do have time, you're just giving it to distractions. You do have energy, you're just wasting it on things that don't matter. You are ready, but your fear is louder than your faith. Success doesn't wait for a perfect moment. Success is built from imperfect daily effort. You don't need more opportunity, you need more consistency. People think they need more motivation, but what they really need is more discipline. They think they need more information, but what they really need is more application. They think they need a better plan, but what they really need is consistent execution of the plan they already have. Consistency is what separates potential from achievement. Potential means nothing without action. Dreams mean nothing without effort. Vision means nothing without discipline. Every time you skip a day, you break momentum. Every time you stop trying, you lose progress. Every missed day is a message to your mind that quitting is an option. But every day you stay consistent, even for a small step, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You build inner power. You cannot cheat consistency. You cannot fake discipline. Your results expose your habits. Your life reflects your daily decisions. If you want success, don't ask for it. Prepare for it. Show up for it. Work for it. Be consistent long enough for success to become unavoidable, because success is not about luck, it is about patience, persistence, and relentless commitment to your purpose. Discipline is not something you are born with, it is not a special talent reserved for a chosen few, and it is not a gift that magically appears when life feels easy. Discipline is a choice, a decision, a commitment you make with yourself every single day. People often wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mindset, or perfect conditions to begin working on their goals. But that moment never arrives. Life is never perfect. Time will never slow down for you. The world will never pause so you can catch up. You either choose to build discipline now, or you choose to remain the same. The hardest truth most people refuse to accept is that they are responsible for their own lack of progress. Not their parents, not their past, not their environment, not their circumstances. Because circumstances shape you, but they do not control you. Excuses may comfort you temporarily, but they will never build your future. Every day you are choosing either discipline or regret. You are choosing either excuses or effort. You are choosing either growth or comfort. The problem is, many people don't realize that not choosing is also a choice. Procrastination is a choice, laziness is a choice, avoidance is a choice, and all of those choices lead to one destination: regret. Discipline, on the other hand, leads to progress, power, and purpose. It is not about being perfect, it is about being committed. It is about doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. When people hear the word discipline, they often imagine something strict, something painful, something that takes away freedom. But that is a misunderstanding. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is training. It is the process of teaching your mind and body to work for you instead of against you. It helps you build control in a world full of distractions. It helps you keep promises to yourself. And there is no greater power than being able to trust yourself. Most people suffer because they cannot rely on their own word. They say they will wake up early, but they sleep in. They say they will start eating healthy, but they give in to cravings. They say they will build a better life, but they continue to delay action. Every time you break your own word, you weaken your self-belief. You begin to doubt your abilities. You begin to think you are not good enough. But the truth is, you are not broken. You are just undisciplined. And the only way to fix that is to choose discipline over and over again until it becomes your lifestyle. Discipline is built from small decisions. It is the choice to read instead of scrolling, to train instead of sleeping in, to work on your goals instead of wasting time, to focus instead of being distracted, to push yourself instead of settling for average. You don't become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined by repeatedly choosing your future over your feelings. Discipline is a decision you renew every morning and reinforce every night. Some days you will fail. Some days you will fall short, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you continue. Discipline isn't about never falling. It is about rising again, stronger and more determined than before. The truth is, success is always within reach for those who take responsibility for their lives. The strongest people in the world are not those who never struggled. They are the ones who chose discipline, even in the middle of chaos. They kept going when others stopped. They stayed focused when others got distracted. They honored their commitment when others gave up. Their power did not come from motivation, but from decisions, from choices, from discipline. That is the secret most people ignore. Your decisions shape your destiny. Improve your decisions and you improve your life. Choose discipline and you choose greatness. Comfort is one of the most dangerous addictions in life. It feels good, it feels safe, it feels easy, but it silently destroys potential. Nothing extraordinary is ever created inside a comfort zone. Growth does not happen in routines that require no effort. Progress does not happen when everything feels familiar. Success does not happen when you only do what is easy. Comfort is the invisible enemy of greatness because comfort convinces people to settle. It makes them accept less than what they are capable of. It tells them they have time. It tells them to relax. It tells them you can do it later. But later becomes never, and dreams die slowly in the arms of comfort. Discipline is the only force strong enough to pull a person out of this trap. Discipline doesn't negotiate with comfort. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline says, do it now, while comfort says, do it tomorrow. The truth is, every time you choose comfort, you choose stagnation. Every time you avoid discomfort, you choose weakness. Every time you avoid challenge, you choose to remain the same. People say they want success, but they also want comfort. They want growth, but they don't want pain. They want transformation, but they don't want sacrifice. And that right there is why most people never change. They want the reward without the struggle. But the struggle is the path. The struggle is where character is built. The struggle is where strength is formed. The struggle is where champions are made. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They are not comfortable. They don't live easy lives. They don't avoid difficulty. In fact, they seek it. They understand that discomfort is a tool. Pain is a teacher. Pressure shapes power. Discipline pushes you through that discomfort and reveals strengths you never knew you had. Every time you do something hard, something your body and mind resist, you grow. You become stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. You build endurance, you build resilience, you build consistency. And slowly, you rise above the average person, the one who always escapes to comfort instead of rising to challenge. Comfort also kills urgency. It creates a false belief that you have time, but you don't. Life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Dreams don't wait. Every day that passes is gone forever. The world is moving forward whether you move with it or not. Discipline creates urgency because it forces action. Discipline knows that the time is now. It understands that progress only comes from pushing boundaries and moving forward despite discomfort. Growth begins the moment comfort ends. When your muscles burn during the last reps, that is growth. When your mind feels tired but you keep studying, that is growth. When your business struggles but you continue building, that is growth. When fear tries to stop you but you still take action, that is growth. Discomfort is not a signal to stop, it is a sign that you are leveling up. Comfort also breeds weakness. A comfortable mind becomes lazy, a comfortable body becomes fragile, a comfortable spirit becomes uninspired. Without challenge, ability dies. Without pressure, power is lost. Without discipline, potential is wasted. Comfort makes people soft, not just physically, but mentally. It kills their hunger, it kills ambition, it kills purpose. And worst of all, it convinces them to accept an average life, while deep inside they know they were made for more. Discipline breaks this cycle. Discipline forces growth. It forces improvement. It forces you to evolve. It does not care how uncomfortable the path is because it cares about who you become through it. You are not meant to live a life controlled by comfort. You are meant to grow, to rise, to push limits, to discover your true power. But that will never happen until you let go of comfort and embrace challenge. The life you want is outside your comfort zone, and discipline is the key that opens that door. Most people misunderstand freedom. They think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want, without rules or restrictions. They think freedom means living without discipline. But that is not freedom, that is chaos. True freedom is not found in living without structure. True freedom is found in self-control and mastery. Without discipline, people become prisoners of their own weaknesses. They are controlled by habits they wish they could break. They are trapped by cravings, addictions, laziness, procrastination, and distractions. They don't control their lives, their impulses do. That is not freedom. That is slavery to comfort and emotion. Discipline is the foundation of real freedom, because discipline gives you control over your mind, your actions, your time, and your future. When you are disciplined, you don't become a victim of circumstances. You don't wait for good things to happen, you create them. Discipline allows you to choose long-term fulfillment over temporary pleasure. It gives you the power to walk away from the things that do not serve your future and move toward the things that do. A disciplined person has freedom because they are not controlled by distractions. They don't waste time. They don't drift through life reacting to everything around them. They make decisions with clarity and intention. Financial freedom, it comes from the discipline to work hard, build skills, save money, invest wisely, and avoid wasting time and energy on things that bring no return. Physical freedom, it comes from the discipline of training your body, taking care of your health, eating with awareness, and building strength, not just to look good, but to move freely and live fully. Emotional freedom. It comes from the discipline to control your reactions, stay calm in chaos, choose peace over drama, and think before speaking or acting. Mental freedom. It comes from the discipline of learning every day, staying focused, protecting your mind from negativity, and feeding it with knowledge instead of noise. People who avoid discipline end up living harder lives than they imagined. They think they are avoiding discomfort in the moment, but in reality, they are creating greater suffering for the future. If you don't have the discipline to manage your finances, you face debt and stress. If you don't have the discipline to control your emotions, you damage relationships and trust. If you don't have the discipline to stay consistent, you fail to achieve anything meaningful. A life without discipline is full of regret and frustration. A life with discipline is full of purpose, strength, and freedom. Discipline is not a punishment, it is a path. It is not about restricting your life, it is about building it. People think disciplined people live strict lives, but in truth, they live powerful lives. They don't waste time feeling lost or confused. They know what they want and they work for it with intention. They don't depend on moods. They depend on habits. They don't let the world control them. They take control of their lives, and that control gives them freedom, the freedom to live life on their terms, the freedom to wake up with purpose, the freedom to look in the mirror and feel proud, the freedom to step into their future with confidence. Without discipline, you can never build anything great, because greatness requires commitment, focus, and persistence. It requires sacrifice and patience. It requires doing what most people won't. Discipline gives you the ability to make those sacrifices. It allows you to delay gratification now so you can enjoy success later. Discipline protects your dreams from destruction. It builds the structure required to make them real. When you are disciplined, you are not afraid of hard work because you know freedom waits on the other side of it. Every time you choose discipline, you gain freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from regret, freedom from excuses, freedom from the life that keeps you stuck. You begin to rise above limitations. You begin to build strength from the inside out. You become someone who can be trusted by others, but most importantly, by yourself. And when you trust yourself, you are truly free. Discipline does more than build habits, it transforms who you are at your core. It shapes your mindset, your behavior, and ultimately your identity. While most people chase confidence by seeking motivation or external validation, true confidence doesn't come from hype or praise. It comes from proving to yourself, through disciplined action, that you can trust your own word. When you say you will do something and you follow through, even when it's hard, you build power within yourself. You create a new identity, one that is built on commitment, not feelings. Every disciplined act is a vote for the person you want to become. People often look at confident individuals and wonder how they became that way. They assume confidence is something you're born with, like a personality trait. But real confidence is earned. It is built layer by layer through thousands of disciplined decisions. You gain confidence when you train even when you feel tired. You gain confidence when you choose to study while others waste time. You gain confidence when you stay consistent even when results are slow. Your mind begins to trust you, and that trust becomes unshakable self-belief. You no longer wait for reassurance from others because you know who you are and what you stand for. That's the power of discipline. It doesn't just change your life, it changes your identity. Discipline also destroys self-doubt. Most people struggle not because they are incapable, but because they do not believe in themselves. They doubt their abilities, they fear failure, and they worry about judgment. These doubts grow stronger every time they break a promise to themselves. When they say they will start a routine but quit after a week, they reinforce the belief that they are not reliable. When they commit to a goal and then give up, they teach their mind to expect failure. But when you practice discipline, you reverse that process. You rebuild your mindset. You rewire your identity. You begin to trust yourself again. Each time you keep a promise, your inner voice becomes stronger. It stops saying, "I can't," and start saying, "I will." Well, your identity is not shaped by what you say you will do. It is shaped by what you repeatedly do. Discipline creates alignment between your actions and your goals. Most people live in internal conflict. Their dreams are big, but their habits are small. They want success, but live with inconsistency. They want a strong body, but avoid training. They want wealth, but avoid hard work. They want to grow, but choose comfort. This conflict weakens identity because actions don't match desires. But when your behavior begins to match your goals, everything changes. Your identity begins to align with your purpose. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who tries, but as someone who gets things done. You stop hoping and start building. You stop dreaming and start executing. Discipline also builds character. It teaches patience, resilience, and emotional control. It teaches you how to push forward even when things get difficult. That strength becomes part of who you are. You become the type of person who doesn't fold under pressure, who doesn't retreat when challenges come, who doesn't need perfect conditions to move forward. You become dependable, focused, relentless. You move with purpose because your actions are no longer controlled by emotion, but driven by commitment. Discipline makes you mentally tough. It strengthens your ability to endure discomfort without giving up. And this toughness becomes part of your identity. It shapes the way you speak, the way you behave, and the way you show up in the world. More importantly, discipline builds pride, the healthy kind, not arrogance, but self-respect. You start to look in the mirror and feel proud not just of what you have achieved, but of who you are becoming. You develop quiet strength, the confidence that comes from knowing you didn't take shortcuts, you didn't cheat the process, and you didn't rely on luck, you relied on discipline. And when self-respect is high, life changes. You set higher standards, you make better choices, you stop tolerating excuses from others and from yourself. You stop chasing temporary pleasure and start chasing long-term purpose. You begin walking like someone who knows where they are going. This is why discipline is more than a habit. It is an identity. It changes how you see yourself and how the world sees you. It builds a foundation of strength from within, unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable.